Step in the journey is a sacred step indeed. Just put one foot in front of the other, and you'll have everything you need.
I know the
Right?
human self is really a challenge sometimes.
Oh my goddess. The human self is just
Oh
like,
my God.
it's like a little birdie. It's like a little birdie that's landing on this thing, landing on that thing. It's like, forget it, I'm
I
screwing up all my
know.
time zones like this whole week too. So,
Yeah. You're
yeah.
probably you're probably morphing through different aspects of time. You're changing the whole schemata.
I mean, as you also very well, I think, understand, I feel like I'm traveling a lot and I'm just like finding really cool information and like, um, yeah, beginning to reflect on ways to offer from a place of service. And so there's like really cool things happening and there's like tons of things just coming up and out and being released in my sleep, in my dreams. And so, those moments of temporary dissociation, are
Mhm.
not really because I am like this traumatized and disempowered individual. It's more like I'm actually kind of, my mind is like kind of somewhere else and like I'm okay with it. But I'm
Yeah.
forgetting little pieces of little things every so often as I process so much intuitive information about my path.
Yeah, it's been huge. I don't know where to start. Since we last chatted, it was gosh, we had the eclipse. We
Hmm.
had our July 4th eclipse, which it was that was a huge one for me. Do you want to hear a little bit about kind of my biggest things that happened during that?
Yes. And could I offer you a song to like open the space in a little way?
Yeah, totally.
But I think I really look forward to hearing
Oh yeah,
about
yeah.
your experience. And it just occurred to me like it might be nice to sort of begin with a little song.
Sweet, I love it. You know me, I love music. I
We
got my
are
clean water
opening up
shirt on.
in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly high. We are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly high. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly high. We are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly high. We are rising up. We are rising up. We We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are rising up.
Beautiful. I didn't experience hardly any time delay. How about you?
I've been talking about this with my music students. Um, the digital latency occurs only for the leader,
Only for
and
the
so
leader. That's why I always experience it because I'm always leading songs. Well,
mhm,
that's a pain, but that's kind of
mhm,
cool that the people listening actually don't experience it. But for
mhm,
you, it's a pain. I know. It's
mhm,
like you're like going, oh God. Well, now I can say to myself, these people are having a good experience, even though mine is kind of
mhm,
wonky.
Yeah, it can be a little bit of a musical challenge, like a little puzzle, a little dare with yourself. Like, what if I sang this whole song and didn't get thrown off by any? But yeah, I just got that song right before we connected just now, and I
Yeah.
thought it might feel good to open,
Thank
literally
you
and
for
figuratively.
that. It's a great song.
Yeah, it's
And it's
such a
kind of,
beloved
it
song.
actually really, like we are opening up in sweet surrender. It's like it brings to bear the exact thing I wanted to share with you. So it's a perfect segue. I may have to stop
Wow.
and get a tiny snack because today was just pretty much a lot of clearing in my sleep. So I woke up very late. My cat
Hmm.
woke me up at like 4:30, and then it was hard to go back to sleep. And then
Hmm.
when I did go back, I was really clearing some deep sort of landing in the void and being separate from everything, that sense of being separate from everything. And it was so terrifying. I was like, ah, but
Hmm.
feeling better now. So what happened for me on the 4th of July is I went camping with one of my deepest soulmates of my whole life. Like she and I are like at one at this, not very far away from the physical. There's this total at oneness with her.
Hmm.
And I'm going to take off my glasses just because the glare gets distracting, I think. But we went on a camping trip. We have our annual 4th of July camping trip where we always go together with my husband and her and we camp. And this year with quarantine, it's been very weird because my friend who channels the angels of divine grace, the angels of divine grace have told me that I should be afraid of her. They've really told me, she could be exposed to the virus. You need to eat only food that's hot, that she cooks directly. You don't touch her. Don't. They've told me this, all through the last 2 months. They've been kind of loading this onto my plate. And so it's been feeling the whole physical distancing thing with my good friends has been feeling really hard. But with her, it's been over the top. Like it's been like my heart is physically going to give out because the agony is so great. Like that kind of a feeling. And we got there on Thursday, we got there on the 2nd of July. And we spent, let's see, maybe we got there on the 3rd of July. It doesn't really matter the timing exactly, but we were there for like a day and keeping the physical distance. And then on the night of the 3rd of July, I believe, yes, on the night of the 3rd of July, the 2nd of July, in my sleep, while I was trying to sleep, I could feel this just like, I can't do this anymore. I have to take a stand for love. If I get this virus, it's only a 2% chance that I might die. It's a 98% chance that I'll be just fine. So I can't stand not loving her, not touching her, not hugging her, not snuggling with her. I can't stand it. Like, I literally, my heart was like, I'm going to your life is going to be over. Who cares if you get the virus and die? Because you're going to die right now. It was that kind of a thing. And I was like, oh my God. And so the next day, we spent all day, and I was still kind of all right, going through it. And then she asked us, she said, do you want to microdose on the most gentle mushrooms that are just super gentle? She got them after her car accident to help with her brain healing, right? And I was kind of scared, but I said, yeah, let's do that, sure. And she goes, it's so gentle. I'll give you my dose. And she weighs like 100 pounds. She's much shorter than me, and I weigh like 170 pounds. So she gave me her dose of the microdose. And I didn't feel a thing. Like, I really didn't. I laid back in the hammock and I looked up at the trees, and we were in such a beautiful campsite. And I was already just at one with everything. So it really was like, I'm not feeling anything from this. Like, me, I take Sudafed and I can see through walls. I respond to cold medicine. They use Sudafed to make methamphetamine. So the part of that tiny precursor to the meth goes straight into me, and I can see through things. And I feel
Yeah,
like becoming one with color.
my dog has urinary incontinence because of the spaying that she received, and so
Oh.
the drug that they prescribed is the same family as Sudafed, and
Mm-hmm.
it tightens the urinary sphincter, but it also made her really edgy, and so we started doing interspecies Reiki and breath work for her,
Oh,
and she doesn't need her medicine anymore, which is
that
really
is
sweet.
what a victory. That is so
Isn't
beautiful.
that cool?
That is
Like
so,
our bodies are so intelligent, and like you kind of said, like your inner knowing that you needed to be in physical intimacy with your beloved friends. Like
yeah.
your body just knew,
My
like the
body was
same way
like,
that a
that's it, and
doggy spirit would know, or another animal spirit.
so good. I love that
Yeah,
story. I love it when we can use just consciousness to help our animals and to help ourselves, our human animal selves.
yeah,
I want to meet your doggy someday. I want to meet you someday. I want to take
yeah.
a
That would be
trip.
fun for us to
Wouldn't
meet
that
in
be
person one
fun?
day.
Ah,
Yeah,
so,
Balthazar's sleeping right now.
oh, Balthazar, hi,
Yeah,
sweetheart.
he's a
Oh,
big
so
sleeper.
cute. So anyway, so what
Yeah.
happened was, so we got by the fire, and it was an hour into our dose, so I'm sure we were feeling something. It was mostly affecting her. I felt exactly the same. But she said to me, she looked into my eyes and she goes, we are family. And it hurts. Like, I need us. It really feels wrong. I feel like it's like a river that's being crimped, like a river of life force that's just being cut. It's like, and I feel like it's a flowing stream that like flows at a really strong rate, and it's just being dammed. And she goes, I'm not here to pressure you, but I want you to really ask your heart, is this real? Because maybe, and then I started crying. I said, it feels so wrong. I can't stand it. I hate it. And she goes, ask your heart. Your heart knows. Your body knows. Your body won't let you down. Your heart won't let you down. Trust your heart. And she kept saying, and she's looking at me, and she's, really like connecting with her heart to my heart. And I
Mhm.
told her, I can't feel the sense of like, yes, it's safe. But what I can feel is to not hug you feels like I'm going to die. And I said, so literally, maybe the fact that to not do it feels so horrific is the yes that I'm supposed to do it. And then we looked at each other, and it was so amazing. We both like looked into each other's eyes, and she goes, Divine Grace is testing you. This is a test so that the fullness of the fear of your mind can be right there in its fullness while your heart is at its fullness, and you're going to take the leap of faith and you're going to trust your heart instead, right? Oh my freaking God. We looked at each other and we go, it's a test. Because the angels do that. They test us. They call our bluff. They tell us things that actually aren't true so that we're pushed to make choices that empower us. And it's all happening at the higher self. The higher self is going, okay, angels, you say this. You say this so that I can, this at the human level, this person will, my Sarah will break out of her cage. And so I've been in lockdown under terror, encaged in my cognitive for 55 years, right? And at the nervous breakdown in 1983, the fear became way more, with my panic attacks, it became way more physically expressed. But all my life, I've been in this lockdown under fear. And in that moment when I said, and it was funny because I was like, okay, I'm going to hug her, but my face is going to go over her shoulder so my breath doesn't touch her breath. I'm going to wear a shirt, a hugging shirt. We were like we were still in the fear base, but we were not letting it stop us. And Frank wasn't that. Frank was like, whatever. I mean, Frank is one with her too, but it's a different kind of oneness that she and I have. It's just, it's so powerful. And so I just ran to her and I hugged her and I put my face over her shoulder, to be safe, and then I just hugged her for the longest time, and we rocked and we sang. And when I released the hug, I literally became one with this whole sky. It was the most incredible thing. She goes, oh my God, you're free. You're free. And I realized, oh my God, in that moment, the angels had totally blessed me. Because when you're inside, when a being is inside of a matrix, they're in agreement with that matrix somehow. In order to be locked into anything, you have to be in agreement. Now, it can be an agreement that's at a subconscious level where your conscious self is like, how can I be in agreement with fear and pain and death and rigidity and limitation? But at this deep level, part of you is bonded into that matrix. Part of you has your hands holding that cage down with the darker forces. You're in allegiance with it. So the angels had to tell me that I was in danger still so that I would feel the burning agony of my heart saying, this is not right. And then I would rip the cage off. And as soon as I pulled that cage off and became one with the sky, my heart just was so relieved. I just felt this incredible relief through my whole being, like, oh my God, I'm free. I'm not a prisoner of the fear-based guardians. I now belong to love. And then the freedom codes were coming in with the eclipse the next day. So the next day I was able to greet the day with this sense of like, I belong to love. And now all the beauty that love sends to me can re-encrypt me. It's like my being is now under the reign. You could say REIGN, or you could say RAIN. My whole being now is under the benevolent sky. I'm not in the dark matrix with mother, father, fear as my God, right? I am in the mother's matrix where divine love, mother, father, grace, beauty, abundance, and glory are my gods. And so I shifted my whole paradigm by walking out of the cage and hugging my friend. And I just talked to the angels last night, and they're like, yes, beloved one, you needed to follow your heart. And you needed to follow your heart when there was the threat of fear. Otherwise,
Your
it's not a real liberation.
your angels feel very matter of fact to me. Like, yes, like, of course you did. Like,
They're extremely matter of fact. I didn't even say, why did you lie to me? I didn't. I said, thank you for not telling me the truth, because you gave me the opportunity to free myself. And so that was incredible. You know, it's like Kim was saying to me, she was saying, you know, the incredible wrongness of the no was the yes. And that can forevermore, we can use that. If we feel incredible wrongness, it's yes. The opposite, the thing is yes. It's like, wow. The
A
extreme
no
no
to
of the
something is a
no.
yes to something else.
The extreme no of the no is a yes. And
Yeah, now that you mention it, I can think of a couple of different instances where that is a very powerful formula or program that you have come across.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, I had a couple of instances like that sort of pop up over the weekend, and it was Guru Purnima in the Vedic language, and that system of thinking around it. And I've been working a lot with between our shared channeling work and my yoga work. I've been connecting to the Ishtadeva, and Ishtadeva is like it's just a personal entity that sort of calls to you,
Yeah.
and the ancient astrologers would assign you one based on your birth chart and so forth. But I think the concept is very portable, is that like whatever sort of entity or group of entities like sort of speaks the loudest, whether they be angels or extraterrestrials or what have you, or the Buddha. Um, and so I started getting little messages from my guide over the weekend, and then on Guru Purnima, I did the calendar thing and I looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a really exciting and initiatory weekend for me as well. I think like maybe a lot of what was that concept you said last time that was so great? You said something so funny. You said, I'm a, I'm not just a light worker. I'm a hardcore light worker. What did you say?
Yes.
Is
I
that what you
don't know
said?
what I
Something
said.
like that. You're
Yeah.
like, no, you said like this is not just light work. This is like hardcore light work or something.
Extreme
So
sports. Light work.
yeah, there we are. Thank you. So I
Yeah,
feel like we're
extreme
all feeling
sports.
that in the extreme sport light work dimension.
Yeah, we're like skiing down Everest,
Yeah.
right? Like we're not just like on a normal ski slope. We're just like on Mount Everest, dropped from an airplane with our
hmm
snowboard
hmm
and a
hmm
and a protein bar, some
hmm
water, or maybe not.
hmm
Maybe we drink the snow and
hmm
and yeah, forage for berries. But anyway, yeah, extreme.
So initiatory weekends, yeah, and
So it's been really
deep,
powerful,
deep, yeah.
and now I find myself like, it's not a new theme for sure, but I really find myself in, how do I polish up my earth vessel, my human self, and bring it into the marketplace in a way that I can have a giving and receiving of my gifts with financial prosperity. And just really being at this point where I'm like, I can do this. I know that this is possible for me. I'm not sure exactly the steps, but I've really decided. I did this meditation to clear the blocks of receiving this morning, and I'm going to do that every 3 days. I'm going to do it again. I'll send you the link. It's a really good one. And then I'm just going to be like, okay, if I were to do something right now that would be a great offering to my community and have money come to me, what would that thing be? What's the first thing that's right there? And I'm just like, okay. I mean, I feel like my private sessions are very beneficial, and so I just going to put my private sessions out there and then just keep keep saying to myself, maybe it's mirror work, you are valuable, you are beautiful, you have something to bring that can bless the world. Just keep saying it over and over, just like I'm polishing up the human self. Because my human self, when I landed in the womb, circa, I was born March 1965, right? So 9 months ago, before that, I landed in the womb, and in my landing, I took on the whole entire program of you are a curse to everything just by being alive. So you can see that the opposite of that is receiving, is being able to feel like a blessing to the world. So that's like my number one negative in God's photo laboratory that I've got to develop, right? I've got this human self that feels like, oh gosh, I'm connected to the whole, like Divine Grace said, that the minute I got there in the womb, I had set it up so that I was attached to all the cataclysm in my genetic family line. Every earthquake, every bomb, every death, I was like, you're the cause of it. And there's a reason for that, because I came to be a veil lifter. And the core veil on earth is the inability to receive. So that it was perfect. I went right along with the earth's program and took the darkest veil I could possibly take to be lifting her veil and my veil similar, like at the same time. So we understand that, but it's like at this point, I just got to go in and polish the grime of that core shame that negates the self, that's constantly saying, well, I'm not quite ready yet. One way to do it is hiding behind, I'm not quite ready yet. I don't quite have my program ready yet. But it's never going to get ready, because if the polishing, if the magnetism doesn't happen at the human level, then you're never going to feel ready. So you have to like, I keep seeing this, like a beautiful golden statue or a beautiful golden, let's say statue that's been covered in grime and mud and buried under, kind of mucky, muddy darkness. And I got to go in there and I got to shine that baby up, and not shining it as if I shine you, then I'll make money. No, I got to go to this thing and say, I love you. I value you. You're beautiful. Come out of the darkness. I'm sorry you got covered in mud. I love you. You're beautiful. You are so valuable just by breathing. You're the most beautiful, precious gift, and I guess it's kind of like inner child work, but it's also the inner masculine as well needs to be told that it's worthy. The feminine, my feminine feels pretty connected to worthiness, but my masculine and my child are the ones that are just like, we've never been able to achieve anything good. We could only get a job in the system. What's that worth? That's not who we are. We are this unique and beautiful expression of life. We have to be able to marry that to money, or we're a total failure. That's my cognitive, right? He feels that. My inner child just basically feels like, well, my cognitive also feels other people make it in music, other people make it in healing. Why can't I? What's wrong with me? So there's that. And then the inner child feels like, not so much about the business end, but just like, nobody wants me, nobody loves me, right? A much more simplified version of core shame. I ruin everything, right? I break everything, I ruin everything. I walk into the room and everything is cursed. That's what my child feels. So I got to go in and polish everybody up, and we're all one. So I'm really just polishing this kind of broken, and it's not really broken. It just needs polishing. It just needs the lie to be wiped off of it. The lie that it's not worthy. The lie that it's a curse. You are worthy. You are a blessing. You are worthy. You are a blessing. You are a blessing. You are a valuable, giving blessing that brings something to the field that adds unto people's lives. and really, really, really steep in those vibrations of those affirmations. So I think I'm going to make myself a meditation that just has those affirmations and just actively steep my little tea bag in there. And then everything that I've been setting up as all these classes and all the ideas and all the beauty and all the music and all the children's programs, all of a sudden, everything gets an infusion of life, and it goes from a passive thing laying in the corner to something that is actively brought into life, lifted up, gains magnetism, and then brings back the reflection of that magnetism in money that's coming to me. So when I was under the fear grid, I didn't have the option. Doesn't matter how much you polish yourself if you're under the fear grid. You can't. It's like trying to clean yourself while you're in an oil slick. It's and so now for the first time, for the very first time, I have the power to begin building a field of love at my human level, because I no longer belong to the death matrix as of July 3rd, 2020. Go team, go!
Beautimus, what a beautiful experience. Just the lifting of veils and the shifting into a state of greater surrender into your power, greater surrender into your own power, and masculine feminine integration, inner child integration. You're increasing awareness of whatever resistance that may possibly remain. You're open to receiving an infusion of life and energy in the form of money, and you're polishing yourself, but you're also aware of the fact that you now have power to begin building a field of love around yourself. Even if you're still polishing, you're not just going to keep polishing and polishing. You're also going to go ahead and open the doors and start seeing your clients, whether that be music for children or energetic healing, all of the above. And you're a Pisces.
I'm a Pisces moon, so
You're a
it's
Pisces moon,
water,
but
emotion.
also sun too, right?
No, I'm an Aries sun.
Okay, well, it's because March 19, it's like
March
must be.
31st.
Oh, you said 31st. That's what it was. I got the wrong date.
1965. March 31st, 1965. I'm glad I wasn't April Fool's. That would have been kind of a bummer.
That would have been
So mama got me out by March 31st in the
cool.
afternoon.
So you got that Aries with that Pisces moon.
I'm a ram.
That's good. You guys so generous.
Super, like, oh my God, supercharged ram, wild fire horse.
Yeah. Well, I had a couple of different associations based on what you were sharing. One synchronicity is that while you were discussing mirror work, I had a recent experience on a Zoom event through Soul Pride,
Oh
which
yeah, was that with Christine Day?
yeah, then
I
there
love
that was one.
Christine.
Then there was another little session that I offered, and then there was another little session that I participated in on Ho'oponopono,
Oh
which
yeah.
is a Hawaiian, yeah, and it's they said you could do it as mirror work, and I'd never, so I think we synchronized over the mirror work, and you say, I'm sorry to yourself with this
Yep.
theme, with this thing that happened to us. I really resonated with some of the programming you're overcoming too. And you say, please forgive me to the self. You say, thank you. And you say, I love you. And I just
Yeah.
thought, what a beautiful practice. And you seem to call that mirror work, which I'd never heard that term before.
Yeah, just looking in the eyes, and eye gazing. I actually have a little mirror that it would work perfectly with. And adding Ho'oponopono Ho'oponopono to that is really, really beautiful. You know, and it's interesting. Another element that's coming up, you know, it's like I went through menopause in May of 2012 is when I stopped bleeding. And
Mm-hmm.
it's, you know, it's a pretty rapid aging happens when you go through menopause. It's like the hair, not always, but anyway, for me, my hair got gray. Right now it's dyed. My hair got gray. My neck really started, you know, losing its elasticity. I think that's one of the hardest things I've noticed. I got a lot more breasts and I got a belly. And I don't know, the belly's sort of a consolation prize to having a little bit more breasts because I've always been really flat. So there were kind of fun things that happened, but it's been a lot of self-esteem issues around getting old. And just, yeah, I always thought that I would rejuvenate myself. I mean, I may still do that in this life. I'm not sure, but I've had to surrender to the visual signs of really getting old, which takes the level of difficulty for self-love up a notch. You know, you have to now become unconditionally self-loving, regardless of what the visual has been trained to see, you know. And I mean, I've always had trouble with my looks. I've always had trouble with straight hair, and I've always permed it so that it would like have some buoyancy. And I've had half bangs, and I've had this look, you know, that I thought, oh, now I look pretty, you know. And since menopause, I've really had to just kind of go, okay, well, you know, I'm getting old. My neck is wrinkly. My stomach is not very flat anymore. And okay, the good looks that I did think I have are pretty much going away. And so really this sense of like beauty is internal and beauty is vibrational, and that we are all these works of art, and that we are not the package we come in. And you know, if you look on Facebook, there's like 100 commercials for like neck cream and belly flattening, and it just makes you go, wow, who am I really? Where does my love flow? Does it flow to the neck that is not wrinkled and not flow to the neck that's wrinkled? I mean, let's get real, you know, let's get real. Does
Mm-hmm.
it? Does it flow to the nose that's more like the Hollywood where I was raised? Or the eyes that are perfectly positioned apart? Or the forehead that's just the right level so it matches the Aryan perfection of the mind control of Hollywood? Is
Mm-hmm.
that where? Does it flow away from what looks Jewish? You know, I'm not Jewish in this lifetime, but I've been Jewish in many lifetimes. And my heritage comes from northern England and Scotland, where we have big noses to keep ourselves warm. The cooling of the air
Mm-hmm.
the air warms in our nostrils. So we have bigger noses from colder places, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Sephardic Jewish tribes, you know, all these different ancestry or past lives, genetics. Anyway, so there's that just bringing to bear in our conversation that need to love ourselves beyond the physical, and that need to love the beautiful work of art that we are, even in the physical. That need to love our wrinkled skin, that need to love the expression that we're expressing as in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only place that love can reach us is in the moment as we are. We can't say, well, I'll love you when. Then love doesn't reach. The coordinates are off. You have to say, I love you now. I love you
Mm-hmm.
exactly as you are. And it'd be nice, let's work on this, and we could get better in physical shape to get healthier. It would be nice to have a course that makes money, and a practice that makes money, and a children's music thing that brings in some finances, and a Patreon page that's alive with give and flow of money. And I love you right now. I love you right now. I love you whether you make money. I love you whether your face looks like Cheryl Teagues or who are some of the gorgeous women out there, Angela Jolie or whoever, right? It's like, no, I love you now. I love you here. I love you as you are.
Thank you.
Hmm.
I see you polishing your mirror. I see you polishing your mirror with a beautiful silk cloth. And it's almost like as she's polishing her mirror, she's also polishing the mind, just releasing all those judgments that were programmed in by what did you say, Aryan Hollywood dreamscapes?
Aryan Hollywood Monarch program. I mean, there's the
Yeah,
chosen bloodline that's programmed in. If you look like this, the resources go to you, basically. And if you look
yeah,
like this, you get nothing. It's like the
yeah.
chosen, the unchosen, you know, bloodlines. And yeah, it's programmed so strongly. And if you wake up, if you grow up very near Hollywood, it's triple whammo because
Really, geographically.
you're right there, you know,
Hmm.
in Santa Monica,
Hmm. Hmm.
Malibu, Los Angeles, child actors, everybody's about what you look like. Um,
Hmm.
Not so much up here in Oregon, I think. If I had grown up here, it would have been quite different.
Hmm.
But anyway, I grew up down there, and down there I was the ugly duckling, the
Hmm.
unchosen. I was teased about my nose. You know, my friends would like hang out with me and then ditch me. Um, it was rough. A lot of it was pretty rough. And so just got to go back to the basics of self-love, you know. It's such a basic thing. It's
Yeah.
the most basic thing we can do is just be like, I love you, honey. Like think about it, like if you had a child in your care, say maybe a 5 or 6 year old child, the first thing you'd do when you went in to wake her up would be to say, I love you, sweetheart. What do you want to do
Hmm.
today? You know,
Hmm.
I love you. Good morning. It's another day. I'm glad you're here with me.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
I'm grateful for you. What shall we do today? Right?
Hmm.
If you treat it like if I treated a child staying with me the way I treat my own self sometimes, I'd be an abusive nanny. I would.
Parent, yeah, nanny, yeah.
Whenever a child comes to be with me, I just totally fill them up with love. And why not
Hmm.
do that? Why not really practice doing that for myself
How shocking.
so that I don't like count the moments till Frank comes back because I
Yeah,
feel so
yeah,
alone. What if I were
yeah.
my own caretaker? What if I could make it through the whole day by myself without feeling like I want to go back to my star home once?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's so much love in here with my little girl that earth is now heaven.
That's so gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely resonate with what you shared as I find myself giving a lot of care and having students and really encouraging people's creativity in a lot of ways. And I'm definitely getting better and better at every day, but it still feels completely opulent to treat myself as if I was one of my own music students or Reiki students or
I
Reiki
know. What?
clients.
I know. I only
It's
just
so weird.
Yeah, I
Such a
just
weird
now
feeling.
thought of that. I mean, I've known, people have told me, why don't you treat yourself the way you treat blah, blah, blah. And it's never, I think right now, just here with you and on the other side of that fear matrix, I can I actually get what people have been telling me and what I've been trying to tell myself is that, yeah. Hey, Lovey, I need to get a little snack. So I might turn off my camera for a second and pop back in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
You could
Yeah,
sing a song.
could take a 2 minute break.
Yeah, or play a little sound healing or something
Oh,
and come
sure.
back.
Yeah,
Leave
I
it
could do
at
that.
that. Okay.
All right. I have like 2 or 3 more minutes.
Oh, 2 or 3 more
So
minutes. Well,
I know.
cool. I
So
think we
what are
did a good self-love talk today.
I do? I feel very, yeah. I feel pretty satiated. Yeah. So yeah, we got into some interesting things.
And I made my breakfast right at the end of our nourishment talk.
So on theme.
I used to always have dreams that I was like late for breakfast and there
Mm,
was no more food left. So it's like, oh, I just made myself a breakfast at the end of our self-love talk. I'll
First thing
video
in the
back up
morning,
so I can say goodbye.
dream time. Yeah. All right. Well, until next time, and obviously we'll be in the loop with each other, but until next time on our weekly check-in,
Yes.
our metaphysical check-in. Love our time. So it's been
I
fun.
love it. I love it too, Ocean. Take good care. Blessings,
Bye.
everyone.
Blessings, everybody.
May we
Bye.
all feel our self-love. May we all know that we're precious and valuable and beautiful treasures in the heart of the divine. Every one of us.
So be it.
So be it.
Ciao.
Bye, sweetie.